Hamilton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to a 4th of July special V8 Supercar Americas series, and we're proudly presented by V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and our very own v8's online superstore, and as always, presented in glorious high definition. Hi folks, I'm JD Smith. With me tonight is Kane Kraft for a very special American holiday version of the Americas, and we're going to race where? In Canada. It's going to be a blast, buddy. I am so excited. Here we are, week 10 at Mosport. A wonderful way to kick off this final 3 races of the season. It is really getting down to the nitty-gritty in the point standings up near the top as Marlon McMullen tries to get back up into first to make a three-peat possible. Kane, we are really excited about what's going to happen here tonight on the show. Got a lot of big things in the race to look out. A lot of storylines starting to pop through the little crevices and starting to show their ugly heads. So how you doing tonight, buddy? Let's get this thing going.
Yeah, at Canada this week and for next week as well. So we'll be in Canada for 2 weeks. I know I said that last week about Australia, but I guess I was a little confused. But we will be in Canada for 2 weeks because I checked the schedule before I got on tonight. Points is really wrapping up to be a close battle here this week as 35 points separate two-time champion Marlon McMullen and newcomer to the series, but longtime V8 Supercar driver Sean Kelly.
Sean Kelly has been a force to be reckoned with. He has come in this season in the hybrid racing simulations Ford Falcon, and he has completely shown that he deserves to be here in this series. He has fought really hard to disrupt Marlon McMullen's run of championships, and I think he is on the track to do so. All he has to do is he has to write his own destiny. It's up to Sean Kelly if Sean wins this championship. It is unfortunately not quite the case for Marlon McMullen. He writes his own destiny as well if he wins out, but when you're behind in the points, you kind of have to hope some other things fall your way as well. Finishing second place to Sean Kelly for the last 3 weeks may not do it. So he may have to hope for some other things to kind of help him out along this journey. But we all know how great Marlon tends to be in tight situations. I think we'll see him really thrive. It's going to be very interesting to see if Sean Kelly can do the same.
Well, Sean Kelly was the one last week hoping for something to go his way, and it did. As at the very beginning of last week's race, Marlon McMullen was involved in an incident in turn 1 of last week's race. He got stuck kind of in a T-bone situation with Lee Ellis and had to watch nearly all the cars pass by. Marlon put his head down and just focused for the rest of the race, passed nearly every car again, and made his way all the way up to third place position for a great finish. But it was just the separation that Sean Kelly needed, as he was victorious last week, to give him the 35-point lead that he has going into tonight's race.
Looking at that 35-point lead now, you have the point standings on the screen. Looking at this thing, you do, as you just mentioned, Sean Kelly, the 35-point lead ahead. Looking down the charts, we have Marlon McMullen, obviously 35 points back. In third, though, Curtis Chipaway, who has been absolutely phenomenal this season. Started the year a privateer in those famous Rest in Peace Can-Am paint schemes, and tonight he's going to be riding in the new Power Bond car. We saw it last week. We want to welcome Curtis Chipaway to Power Bond Racing. He looked good, though, Kane. It's good to see him join up with Marlon McMullen. That team is definitely had some ups and downs. And I think this is a great move for both Curtis and Marlon. These two drivers are definitely talented, obviously second and third in the points. I think that this is going to benefit both of these drivers, especially as we look to next season when the team championships will be there. Now, looking down one more spot, Michael Fulcher of Kamikaze Racing is in fourth place. Chad Chastain rounds out the top five. Chad has not had a very positive season, Kane. If we look back one season ago, Chad Chastain on the verge of winning a championship here in the Americas Series. And this season, he just hasn't had that same drive and passion as he had last season. I think that what we'll see out of Chad the last couple weeks of this season is a preparation to get back on that ride to the top, as I think he will be back the way he was last season in the next season. It's just a down year or a down season for him. I think we'll see him back to his normal form next season. Sam Collins, I'm proud to see him in sixth. Nigel Baines, another driver. In fact, we can say what we said about Chad right there, really about the entire SDC Motorsports team. They have not put a lot of time and development in this series this season like we've seen in seasons past. I think that will change next season. These guys know that they have not performed quite like they're able to do, because when you look at this team on paper, Kane, they're literally a scary looking bunch.
Yeah, definitely. SDC Motorsports they are a fantastic team. They work real hard to have good race results each and every week, and they're competing in several different series now as the team has grown so much over this year. And I think the V8 Supercars is one that has kind of maybe taken a little bit of a hit because of their focus on spreading out through other series. But they still have drivers that are competing and doing well in the series. But I expect we'll see them start doing really well next season.
I tell you why I like what they're doing, Kane. I think if you're going to focus on another series, this is the time to do it. If you're going to branch out and focus on, and I know you're like, JD, how are you going to say that? You broadcast the Americas series. Well, it just goes down to this, Kane. We're fixing to lose this car, and we have one more season with this car, we believe. That we only have one season left with this current gen car, and then we'll be in the car of the future. Okay, that car will drive completely different than this car. And I think that if you're going to focus on another branch of racing, if you're a big team like SDC Motorsports, I think they're going about it the right way. Why put all your research and development in the V8 series when it's going to change in one season's time? I think they focus on branching out right now. They're still putting up decent enough results to make a good name for themselves and keep their sponsor happy. I think they're doing a great job, and I think that they're really going to be coming strong once that new car of the future is revealed in just one season's time. And I'm excited to see that for those guys. I mean, they really are a great bunch of guys. I think it's no secret that we have a little special place for SDC, but we actually love all these teams. I mean, look at Mike Budzine right there in 10th. And then Mark Anderson, another Kamikaze race team. Those two, or those three, pardon me, I'm so used to Mark Anderson and Michael Fulcher. But they also have their third member who has been fantastic, Kane. All three of the KRT guys have looked really good. Jake Burton, how good has he been in this season, buddy? He's another one. He's sitting right there, 8th in the points, and he has several zeros up on that point chart, Kane. Week 1, a big 0. For week 4, a 0, and then week 7, just 5 points. Now you take away those, and he's got some great numbers or not a 5, I'm sorry, a 0 in week 7, but he has some great numbers on the charts in the other weeks, except for maybe week 6. He's had a fantastic run. So you got a lot of great talent up here in this top 10, and they're all spread out through different teams. And I think that it's going to make just for a great season next year. And wait till we get this car of the future, Ken. Can you imagine how this whole thing, it'll be like starting from scratch?
Yeah, the car of the future is going to bring some great changes to the car. It's going to really change the dynamics of the series. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait till that gets here. We've heard that we're not going to get it next season. That it'll be the season thereafter, and so next season will be the final season. The car that we have, the car of today, I guess is what we could call it. But so yeah, one more season of this car, and then we'll be on to the new car. And we won't just have the one car. We'll actually have some Ford versus Holden battle, which is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to have the dynamics of the different manufacturers as well. It's really going to bring something additional to the series.
Well, before we even get started and move on to that car, we have a very, very special show tonight. I want to wish everybody out there watching the show a very happy 4th of July. It's been a great day, and I think that it's just going to continue on through the day in our race. And I just want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. But we have a very special contest going on right now, Kane, and I just want to let everybody know. Some already know, but if not, we have a fantastic little contest going on from V8's Online. That's right, folks. If you want to try to get yourself some iRacing credits, all you have to do is take a photo of yourself watching tonight's race and post it on our Facebook page, the V8's Online Facebook page, the website right there on your screen. And just go up there and post a picture of how you watch the race. And it'll, just throw a selfie up there or show you and your family or the dog watching the race, whatever. And that will enter you in a chance to win iRacing credits to get some new content that you want. So we've already had a winner. Joe Berkman won week 1 from the NASCAR iRacing Series race. He watched that race and sent in his photo to V8's Online's Facebook and won him some iRacing credits. So he got him some new content, Kane, and this week it could be you. So for all the guys out there watching the broadcast, take a little snapshot with the smartphone or whatever and send it in to the address on the screen. But guys, it's time to get ready and enjoy the race, Kane. I'm really excited that we're going to head out here to Mosport. And here's a little information about Mosport, obviously known as Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And I had a good talk with who was it that's from there? Oh, now I can't remember. But anyways, 25 laps tonight around this track. This is one of the best tracks on the docket or on the schedule, Kane. I'll absolutely love it. It just has a really good rhythm in this V8 supercar. 10 turns, 2.45 miles. You might as well just say 2.5 miles. That's 3.9 kilometers. And there's only one configuration that iRacing runs here. It's a great track. Pit road speed tonight is only going to be 35 miles per hour. So you got to get that car down to a really slow pace. You don't want to get caught speeding here. But it's a great little track. I absolutely love the racing here, Kane. This is actually one of my favorites to drive as a driver.
Yeah, the track's a very aggressive track. Lots of hills, lots of blind corners. It's really, from a driver's standpoint, it's a very tough track. There's not a whole lot of grip here. It seems like you're always struggling for grip, but the speeds are good, and the track just seems to have everything. It's got some hairpins, it's got some double apex turns, it's got everything that you look for when you're looking for a great road race. But turn 2, that's the tough one. You got so much speed as you go into turn 2, and it's kind of a double apexy little off camber turn that lacks grip, something horrible. And if you take that turn just wrong, you get off into the grass, and then you're just a passenger because the car goes where it wants to go. There's nothing you can do.
That's absolutely correct. And Kane, while we're getting out here to the track, it's about that time to announce tonight's starting grid. And I want to let you know that we got a big name on the pole tonight. He'll be in the number 1 machine. That's Madison Down. So he'll be here for the 4th of July special in the V8's Americas race. The biggest night in V8's Americas racing. It is our Independence Day. So a big night for Madison Down to get the pole here. The Australian driver has got a fast time out there, but a very close second of Sean Kelly, He'll be starting on the outside of row 1 as the cars get ready to grid now, Kane. In third place tonight, starting in the inside there on third position is Richard Hamstead, no stranger in the V8 Supercars. Fourth place tonight will be Curtis Chipaway with Chad Chastain rounding out the top 5. Bo Cubis will return this week, starting in sixth place. Seventh will be Tobias Zerny. Welcome Tobias back. Jake Burton, 8th. 9th, Marlon McMullen. Michael Fulcher, 10th. Sam Collins, 11th. 12th will belong to Sanjin Delilac. Mike Yo, 13th. Matt Orr, 14th. 15th, Graham Byland. Greg Sharp, 16th. And Kane, let's go racing, buddy, here at Mosport in Canada. I'm excited. I hope you are. We're getting ready for the engines to rev just at the sign of the lights here at Mosport. The lights are on, and as soon as they get the signal, they will be off, and the race at Mosport has begun.
What a great start by Richard Hamstead. He about got position on Madison down there on the start.
Oh, we got trouble, Kane. Two cars will touch. I think it might have been Tobias Zerny, but it might have been behind him there. It's actually Jake Burton in the Sim Instruments Ford Falcon and the Bottle-O machine that was right beside him, and I'm trying to find out what car that was. I can't tell who that was. It's a new car. Is it Sam Collins maybe? No, it's not Sam Collins. I will find out who that was in that Bottle-O machine. But big save. It was Bo Cubis. I apologize. Bo Cubis was the car, and that one could have been devastational to start the race. They made contact, didn't hit the wall, but both cars are out okay.
Tell you what, Richard Hamstead's got some great pace here at Mosport. He is putting the pressure on Madison down for this #1 spot. On the outside, thinking a little better of it as he tucks back in behind.
Yeah, Madison down, great move right there. And I tell you what, Kane, this is great racing up here at the front. It has just been a fantastic start. The first lap has been completed, and it will be Madison down who edges out the first place on lap 1. He has Richard Hamstead right there on the back door knocking, and then in third is Sean Kelly. Rounding turns 2 and 3, and now this is the big area you have to be careful. How many times have we seen cars go in the grass there? You think there would be a runoff area there, but there never was one put in.
A little bit of separation between Curtis Chipaway and Tobias Zerny back in 5th place. It looks like Tobias is catching up a little bit now. There was about 3 car lengths, now back down to 2 or less.
Kane, we got a great battle with Marlon McMullen and Jake Burton, and actually that's Marlon McMullen and Sam Collins. I apologize. A fantastic battle for position. There's 2 KRT cars right behind the Dayco Ford Falcon of our 2-time champ Marlon J. McMullen.
Yeah, see that gap between Marlon and Bo Cubis is kind of bothering me. Something had to have happened to Marlon to get that gap.
That's where that's the Bo Cubis at the beginning, Kane. When they had the accident there, it stopped all traffic behind Bo Cubis and Jake Burton there, and that separated the two. Now, Marlon has passed Jake since, as have a couple other cars. In fact, something's happened to Jake Burton, Kane. He has fallen all the way to 15th. He's in the pits right now. He's getting damage repaired from that incident at the start of the race.
Well, that was an incident that Marlon McMullen did not need at the start of this race. 2 races in a row, incident causing Marlon to get separated from the field and having to play catch-up for the entire race. And 25 laps here at Mosport just may not be enough time.
Right now, Sean Kelly has his sights in on Richard Hamstead, and this is a really good race for second place. In the meantime, while this 3-car battle presumes for second, the leader Madison Down starting to float away from the rest of the pack.
Let's check on newcomer to this series. He has run the V8 Supercars several times, but the first time on the broadcast, Matt Orr. Everybody else knows him as Empty Box. He's racing here with the V8 Supercar Americas series tonight.
Yeah, well, welcome Matt Orr. We've enjoyed his videos time and time again there on Empty Box. So, welcome to the show, Matt Orr. I'm glad you pointed that out, Kane. I didn't realize that's who that was when I first saw the name. I knew it rang a bell. Madison down in the ultimate karting Sydney Ford Falcon out in front with about a 0.7 of a second lead over Richard Hampstead at the moment. Lap 4 of 25 here at Mosport, and this is how the order looks from the get-go. Madison down in first, Richard Hampstead back in second. In third, it's Sean Kelly in the Hybrid Racing Simulations Ford. Back another in fourth in the Dayco Ford. It's Curtis Chipaway right ahead of fifth place, Tobias Zerny. Bo Cubis back in the sixth place. Seventh is in another Dayco Power Bond machine. It's Marlon McMullen. Back in eighth, it is Sam Collins, the start of the Kamikaze race team. And then it's his teammate Michael Fulcher in ninth. Back in 10th, it is Mike Yo in the FinCard Falcon. Sanjin Delilah back in 11th. In the Bilta machine back there. I like that paint scheme of stars and stripes. It got to be one of the coolest paint schemes on the track. He rides 11th. Matt Orr's back in 12th position. And then we look back to 13th. It's Graham Filand. He's in the Bilia, I think I'm saying that right, Bilia Hawthorne paint scheme. A special 4th of July version for him as well. That is just sweet paint on those cars.
That is awesome.
It's great. 14th is Greg Sharp in the Demidov Innovations Ford Falcon, and back in 15th, you guys know what happened early in the race. In the Triton Sim Instruments Ford Falcon, it is Jake Burton. Tough break for Jake. Lots of damage on his Ford Falcon. The back spoiler has quite a bit of damage on it. The hood, actually the splitter even has some damage, as well as the passenger side wheel well. So a lot of damage on the Sim Instruments Ford Falcon for Jake Burton. He's being followed really closely by Matt Orr. And actually Matt Orr is making a pass on him now. So he is down a lap. We'll see how he rebounds. Right now going for the pass, Sanjin Delilah trying to make his way around Matt Yo. They're side by side right now. Just pedal to the metal on the inside is of Sanjin Delilah is Mike Yo, and Mike Yo will hold the position momentarily. Beautiful job there by Mike Yo in the FinCard Falcon to hold that position. Kane back up in third. The race for third is still hot and heavy. It's Sean Kelly and Curtis Chipaway now battling for third place. And I tell you what, Curtis Chipaway has been so successful when he was a privateer in the early season, but it seems like ever since he's jumped in this black and purple car, he has a reason to race other than just for himself, and he's been very dangerous. He just looks so focused.
He does, and with the first lap incident with Marlon McMullen, he's racing for the whole team now. Marlon McMullen finds himself 5 seconds off the bumper of Bo Cubis up in 6th place. So Marlon kind of far back there. So Curtis is right now the Power Bond driver that's looking to get the podium spot.
Well, it's good to see Tobias Zerny on the track. You know, Kane, we haven't seen him much this season. We saw him a lot last season. It's hard for him to make these race times, but it is so good to see that teal and black Dayco Ford out on the track. There's 3 Power Bond cars out here, and both Tobias and Curtis looking good right now.
Yeah, and it's perfect time too. Power Bond really needed some extra support out on the track tonight, and Tobias able to join up. He said he'd be back for Canada. I'm thinking he's really looking forward to next week, so I think we'll see him next week as well.
That's great news, really good news. So for both of the Canada tracks, looks like we'll get it to see Tobias.
Madison down on a tear tonight. He has gained over a second and a half, all over second place Richard Hampstead. Richard another second and a half over third place Sean Kelly.
Fast racer in the spectator section tonight, Kane. Noticed Mr. Kurt Stenberg in there watching the race. Good to see Kurt in there.
Another driver watching from the sidelines tonight, Chad Chastain, who's joined up for the race, but I never did see the car on the track, and he is now 5 laps down.
Yeah, there he is. He's riding around the track now.
Oh, there he is.
The Sim Pit Falcon is cutting the grass over there, Kane.
Yeah, something's definitely not right with the Sim Pit Falcon. He's just not got the speed as of yet, and like I said, he was weed eating the edge there, so not real sure what's up with Chad tonight, but hope things start to improve for Chad, as he's had some bad luck the last few races.
Oh, side-by-side action right now is Michael Yo and Sanjin Delilac again. Sanjin on the inside now. He will make the overtake and stick. So now Sanjin Delilac cracking into the top 10 momentarily. Beautiful pass there. Oh,
Michael
man,
Yo looking like he's going for the retake. Thought better of it and stayed tucked in behind Sanjin. Ahead,
Oh.
Sam Collins going for the move on Marlon McMullen. Marlon's on the outside, Sam on the inside. It looks like he's going to get the job done.
Oh, he does right here through this mini S section right there. He makes it, and now he's squeezed right in between two Kamikaze race team cars. Not a good place to be. You know Marlon wants to get out back in front of Sam Collins. Easier said than done here. It looks like Sam Collins has got a great setup today. The car looks really good.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe Marlon's got some unseen damage to the car. You know, so anytime any impact's made to those front wheels and it messes up the steering, it makes it really difficult to drive. And his pace just ain't what I would think that it would be here at Mosport. So he could have some damage.
You know what, Kane? It might be a great time to go on board with our two-time champ, Marlon McMullen, and see what happens on this chase here. Let's kind of go on board. Maybe we can get a glimpse of how this car is handling. So if we do get on the onboard camera here from the cockpit of Marlon McMullen, we're riding down the back straightaway here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. You see right in front Sam Collins. And here he goes, going to try to look for some room on the inside. It's just not enough daylight to make it happen. Here's the part where Sam made this pass stick on the last lap. Here you see the entrance to pit road on the final turn here at Mosport. This is the start-finish line here to start the new lap. The right-hand turn to start this big right-hander here. This is a dangerous part coming up, Kane, because this is where you can overshoot it if you get too aggressive. If you don't get this turn right, you're in that grass and there is no stopping the car. It is going to hit that tire wall. Now, here is a big right-hander here. You can lose and make up a lot of time in this section if you get a lot of rear wheel spin here. It's all she wrote. You see Sam Collins starting to break away a little bit from Marlon McMullen. Now watch Marlon as he'll regain that space right back here. Marlon is great through this section, and this is the little chicane. Beautiful job there by Marlon. He's got a little bit of that time back, but here on the straightaway he'll utilize that draft, and this is where we joined you on the onboard. Thanks for that onboard footage, Kate. Kurt Stenberg said Marlon is in a kamikaze sandwich. And he really is, Kate. He's right between those two. Not a place you want to be.
Yeah, I would say that you never want to be the cheese in a kamikaze sandwich.
Lap 11 right now of 25 guys. Race coming along quite nicely. Madison down just over 2-second lead over Richard Hampstead, who's back in second. Third place, Sean Kelly. Curtis Chipaway fourth, and the top 5 rounds out Tobias Zerny. Bo Cubis is right there though, Kane. He's in 6th. And 7th, Sam Collins, really 7th place. All these top 7 are within striking range of one another. But then there's quite a little gap between Bo Kubis and Sam Collins. Remember, that split happened on the very start of this race. That was what happened when the 2 cars of Jake Burton got in with Bo Kubis and separated those 2. Checking back in on Jake Burton is Jake is 2 laps down. He's riding by himself right now, not in traffic. So it's all up to him to run some lap times. Last lap for Jake, 122.8. We'll just round it up. We look at the leader, his last lap, 118.9. So almost 4 seconds faster for Madison Down than what our good friend Jake Burton is running. Something definitely wrong with his car. We obviously know the damage that we can see, the cosmetical damage, but there's definitely some mechanical issues with that vehicle. Boy, Madison Down looks like he is just gliding on ice right now. Flawless driving, and looks like he can make the car do anything he wants at any time, and he is booking it around this circuit.
Yeah.
I just rarely you see a guy that smooth.
You know, earlier I was talking to someone about the opportunity that the iRacing simulator has provided to so many drivers, and how so many drivers have ended up in a real race car based on this simulator, you know, from their performance on this simulator. And Madison Down is one of them that won the competition last year, the Race to Reality competition, and he got to go drive at Sydney in an Aussie racing car from winning that series, and it was very awesome. He's got a video on his YouTube page of him driving the car, and he was fantastic. He got in that car and drove it around that track just as if he had been doing it his whole life. It was fantastic to watch. Now, iRacing isn't the only racing experience he's got. He has driven some other cars, but it is the most of his experience, probably, I would say, comes from iRacing.
And Kane, you mentioned that his videos, I don't know if you've been watching our broadcast for a long time, we showed that actually. Kane, you actually showed that footage on one of our old broadcasts, and I remember watching that, and that was just truly an amazing video, watching Madison compete and then earning that spot. It really is quite an accomplishment, all the people that he beat to get there.
Yeah, the Race to Reality series was a fantastic series put on by the guys, I believe, at Race Center, and man, it was awesome to not only watch, but then to see Madison go to Sydney and perform as well as he did. It was awesome. It's the only word I can even think of to describe it.
How about Greg Sharp, Bones Filand battling it out, and then Matt Orr? Those three got their own little race going on back here in 12th through 14th. Kind of fun watching these three. Then we look up, Sanjin and Michael Yo still going at it here. This is the battle for 10th as Sanjin and Lilac holds the upper hand at the moment, but the Fincar Ford Falcon of Mike Yo right there with him. And here we are just starting lap 14 of 25, Kane. Before you know it, there will only be 10 laps to go. This is a bit of a heat run today.
I do want to say about Matt Orr doing a fantastic job tonight racing with these guys that have been running this car week after week for as long as they have. Matt Orr can get into these cars. He could drive a phone book around this track. It's crazy the skill that this guy has. Can jump into any car and perform as well as he does. And then he posts the race that he does on his YouTube page and has some great commentary and lots of subscribers. He's very popular for his YouTube channel, very popular. So I'll have to log on and check it out after the race and see if he posts his v8 Americas race on his channel.
Oh, here comes Mike Yo. He looked like he was going to try to find some daylight. Just couldn't get the momentum he needed, but he's right there where he needs to be, right within a car length of our good friend Sanjin Delilac, and at any time Mike Yo could make that move happen. He was ahead of Sanjin earlier, and remember, Sanjin made that fantastic move to make the pass happen, and I think that Mike Yo is ready to repay the favor. Good driving right now by Sanjin Delilac. He's great when it comes to these battles. He doesn't let pressure get to him. He took a really wide exit there, Kane. I thought it was going to hurt him, and it may. Here he comes, Mike Yo now in position to make this thing happen. A small slip up could cost a position. Luckily for Mike Yo, though, is this chicane. He can really put up here on this backstretch if he gets out fast. But you know what? He didn't get out as good as he wanted to. Sanjin actually beat him out of that chicane.
Yeah, Sanjin with a lot more momentum on the exit of that turn. It really showed down the back straight as he's really pulling away from Mike Yo. Mike running a little deeper into the turn, so he'll gain some of that time back.
These two definitely having a great battle around this track. You know, even though it's the battle for 10th, its talent is that tight all through the field.
Speaking of great battles, Sean Kelly is caught back up to Richard Hampstead. Less than a second now between third place car of Sean Kelly, our current points leader, and the guest to the series, Richard Hampstead. Richard's, I think this is his second race in the Americas series, so good to see him back, as well as Madison Dow.
It's fantastic news right there for Sean Kelly to get up here and hang with a guy like Richard Hampstead. And these two featured all the time. You guys have seen them plenty of times on the Monday night series, or it airs Monday night here in America. But wonderful, wonderful driving by Richard Hampstead. And when you got Sean Kelly coming up on him like this makes for an exciting race for second place, buddy. Check in on some of the KRT guys for those Kamikaze Race Team fans. Sam Collins in 7th place at the moment. His other teammate Michael Fulcher still behind Marlon McMullen back in 9th. And those two really looking to continue to have this Marlon McMullen sandwich.
Well, Mullen's in the KRT sandwich.
That's what I meant. He's the hamburger meat. Or the cheese that stands alone, however you want to say it. I wonder how my good buddy Bones is doing. He's still leading this three-way battle between Greg Sharp and Matt Orr. Now, Matt Orr has fallen off of the pace a little bit. He's a little bit further back than Greg Sharp now. So now it's just Graham and Greg. And Bones looking good up here in 12th, man. I'm proud of Bones. He's really grown this season as a driver. He really has.
I just can't get over that paint scheme. What a perfect paint job for 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, paint schemes are fantastic. They are just absolutely phenomenal. We saw some great ones Wednesday night in the NASCAR iRacing series, and we turn around and they have some awesome ones here in the Americas, in the V8's Americas series. So really, really good job by all the painters out there getting these paint schemes ready for this week's races.
And the fantastic thing about it, you know, it's the American flag on the car with the eagle. It represents the freedom of America and everything. These guys are from Australia, and they're celebrating America's independence, and I think that's kind of amazing that even the Australian drivers I guess understand the importance of American Independence Day. Now, I do know that an Australian guy I was talking to earlier said that they're even going to have fireworks and stuff in Australia tonight, so I guess I should probably study more about Independence Day and what it means in Australia, because they celebrate it pretty big as well. Might be a topic for the Get Dirty MX post-race show.
Yeah, Kane, we meant to bring that up. You guys definitely, if you just joined us, we're going to catch you up to speed in just a minute, but after the race, make sure you... Oh, a little slip-up by Marlon McMullen. It may have cost him, but it didn't for now. We'll keep an eye on him. But if you just joined us, make sure you stay with us for the post-race. We got the Get Dirty MX post-race show. You're not going to want to miss it. Great topics to be discussed around what's happening around the series and around iRacing in general, and talks and interviews with all your favorite drivers here in the Americas series. It's going to be a great post-race show. You're not going to want to miss it. Also, to catch you up to speed, Madison Downs starts on the pole, and he has dominated the race since. He has looked phenomenal out on this track. It's lap 19 of 25, and I tell you what, Kane, it has been all about the Ultimate Karting Sydney Ford Falcon of Madison Down. He has a 2.5 second lead over Richard Hampstead. Following Richard Hampstead is third place Sean Kelly in the Hybrid Racing Simulations Ford Falcon. Back and forth, it is the Dayco Ford of Curtis Chipaway. Tobias Ernie rounds out your top 5. In 6th, it's Bo Kibis. In 7th, Sam Collins, then Marlon McMullen, and Michael Fulcher makes 9th. 10th is Sanjin Delilac. Mike Yost is back in 11th. Graham Filand in 12th. Greg Sharp 13th. 14th is Matt Orr. Jake Burton is 15th, unfortunately 3 laps down, and Chad Chastain is 6 laps down, and he is still out there racing. I love to see Chad out there running laps, even though he knows he has no chance of catching Jake Burton. It's still great to see him out there running laps and just logging laps. It never hurts to be out there getting that practice in. But if you are just joining us, we want to let you know that tonight's race is presented in Glorious HD, brought to you by the V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and our very own v8sonline Superstore. And Kane, it's been a fantastic race so far. Here we are on lap 20 of 25, 6 laps remain, and it's going to get pretty dicey for a couple of drivers. The best battles on the track at the moment have to be between Sanjin Delilac, and well, it was between Sanjin and Mike Yo, but there's been a little bit of space put in between those two. So now I would have to say it between Marlon McMullen and Michael Fulcher.
And that's a pretty good battle there, but right now we got Bo Cubis on the bumper of Tobias Cerny, looking to get around him. He's made it look like he is going to make an attempt several times in the last lap, but ultimately he stuck back in behind Tobias and just thought better of it.
Great, too. This is a battle for a top 5 position, too. If Bo Kibis could pull this off, this would be huge considering he started his race today getting mashed into a wall. So that could be a humongous turnaround.
He is racing with damage, too. You can see the oil and debris on the windshield of the Bo Kibis Altitude Volvo. So I guess he's not running the Altitude Volvo. His team is the Altitude Volvo Brighton team, is what it's showing for his team. But yeah, he's in a Bottle car. But definitely got some oil and debris all over the windshield. So yeah, his car's obviously got some damage, or possibly a little bit of damage coming from Tobias Cerny.
Oh, here we go, Kate. He's on the outside right now trying to make the pass on Tobias Cerny. We're door to door. Now on the inside, he has the advantage, but can we get the rebound from Tobias? Now on another inside turn as we take the right-hander, the Bottle takes the lead. Here comes Tobias Cerny now on the rebound. He's going to get cut off side by side going into turn 1. Tobias retakes the position and holds 5th place for now. Don't go anywhere, though. This battle is not done, as here comes a rebound from the Canadian club Bottle.
Oh, contact's made!
He's going to spin Cerny out. Cerny out into the grass. He'll hit the tire wall, and that is bad news for Tobias Cerny.
Yeah, that contact was pretty serious. With the force that he hit the tire barrel was very serious, so I'm sure there's going to be some significant damage on the Dayco Ford.
Bad news for Tobias Cerny will help Sam Collins and Marlon McMullen because they'll both move up a spot. That'll move Marlin up to 7th. And you got to think at this point in the season, every point counts. So that will help Marlon McMullen a little bit now if he can get up and get ahead of Sam Collins, which will be a task because it's quite a bit of distance between the two. But it is only lap 22 of 25. There's still some laps to get some time advanced.
Ultimately, what this race is going to mean for Marlon is this one will more than likely be forced to be one of his drop weeks. And this series has 4 drop weeks, which means the lowest 4 scoring races that you have throughout the 12-week season will be dropped off and not be counted in your points total. So this race will obviously be one of those 4. And at the end of the series, we'll just have to add them up and see where it goes. It's definitely going to hurt. Curtis Chipaway up in 4th, having a pretty easy-going race tonight. He's got no significant pressure from behind as he's 6.5 seconds ahead of 5th place Bo Cubis. And Curtis about 6 seconds off the bumper of Sean Kelly up in 3rd place.
Golly, it's mesmerizing getting on these static cams that I have. It just shows you how, you don't realize sometimes how fast these cars are really going. And then you look at static cams that are just stationary, and it really shows the speed that these cars carry. It's amazing.
Yeah, the overlay does have the speed indicator in the lower right hand of the screen, so if you're watching, you want to know the speeds that these cars are actually getting to on the track. Keep an eye on the speed indicator down by the gear indicator, and you'll get to see that these guys are flying around this track.
They're definitely pushing these cars to the limit. All right, guys, lap 24 of 25, and the Ultimate Karting Sydney Ford Falcon out in front. And right now, Madison Down has a 3.2 second gap over Richard Hampstead. And this could be an easy victory for Madison Down here in the V8 Americas on a 4th of July. Just a really good job right here. Here it is. The white flag is out, ladies and gentlemen, as our leader Madison Down is the first one to hit the white flag. Checkered this time, and this is the final lap of week number 10 here in the V8 Supercar Americas, and Madison Down has the easy lead at the moment. Richard Hampstead back there in 2nd. Sean Kelly is going to have to really push it if he has a chance of catching Richard Hampstead. Curtis Chipaway is in 4th, Bo Cubis 5th, Sam Collins 6th. Back in 7th is Marlon McMullen. Michael Fulcher is going to have to push it to catch Marlon in 8th. Tobias Ernie back in 9th, and a great battle between him and Sanjin Dalali.
Yeah, these guys are going to battle it out clear to the finish. Sanjin right on the bumper of Tobias. So, Tobias able to get the car back on the track, and he's actually got decent pace for as hard as that impact was with the tire barrier.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and all focus needs to be on Madison Down, because here is the final 2 turns, and this should do it. And the final turn at Mosport in week 10, it is Madison Down winning here at Mosport. Coming in 2nd now across the start-finish line, Richard Hampstead. Back in 3rd, it is Sean Kelly. Curtis Chipaway will cross in 4th. Bo Cubis now crossing in 5th. Sam Collins now coming around to finish in 6th. Marlon McMullen, no problems as he'll finish 7th. Mike Fulcher never could catch him as he finishes 8th. Tobias Zerny pulls it out 9th. And Sanjin rounds out your top 10. Mike Yo now crossing the line in 11th. Graham Bones Filan got a close battle with Greg Sharp. Around the final 2 turns, Kane, kind of interesting here. Little bumper-to-bumper action. Greg Sharp may have the inside, but he won't. Good job by Graham to take 11th. I'm sorry, that's 12th. And Greg Sharp 13th. 14th will go to Matt Orr. And of course, 15th will belong to Jake Burton. And a final spot on the grid, 16th will belong to Chad Chastain in the Sim Pit Ford Falcon. What a great week here at Week 10 at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It's been a fun race to watch, Kane. A fast 25 laps that really went by way too fast.
Yeah, Madison Down did a fantastic job getting out front early, and just such massive speed he has here. Was able to pull away to about 6 seconds over, or just a couple seconds actually, over second place, Richard Hampstead, and then Sean Kelly just a little ways back, and then 6 seconds gap back to Curtis Chipwood.
Awesome burnout now by Madison Down. He deserves it here. Represented very well here in the Americas Series. And we're happy to have Madison have a nice visit here and get the victory. Well-deserved victory. Sean Kelly doing a little burnout down here for his spot on the podium, and he deserves it as well. The Hybrid Racing Simulations Falcon had a fantastic race. And there's a party, a 4th of July celebration on the start grid. Kane, I hope you're getting this on the broadcast. It's pretty fun little burnout session up here. Got lots of crazy drivers up here burning it down. Curtis Chipaway, Marlon McMullen, Madison Down, Sean Kelly, all burning out here on the front here of this Mosport track. They're laying some serious rubber down, Kane. That was a really fun race for a short run here, a little heat run. And you got to give credit where credit's due. Our podium was absolutely flawless. Performance from Madison Down on the top of the podium, second spot, Richard Hampstead, and of course, the final spot on the podium tonight, Sean Kelly. And Curtis Chipaway deserves a great honorable mention, finishing in 4th. Bo Kibis lucked out big time getting a top 5 tonight. If you look at the way his race started, it looked like disaster was going to strike. I'm going to see if I can even go back to the very first lap here on mine and just kind of tell you exactly what happened, because I never went back and looked at the replay originally, so it'll be very interesting to see. All right, here I'm watching in slow-mo here to see exactly what happened. It's between Bo Kibis. Let's see here. It starts off very nicely for everybody. We actually got off to a really good start. And as we're going through the first turn, Kane, it looks like Bo Kibis may have overshot the turn a hair because he cut in over into Jake Burton. And once those two hit, it wasn't a big hit. That's what is so weird about the whole scenario. It was a light tap, but Jake Burton tapped off the wall. And when he did, everything seemed to be fine. You know, no, it could have been a lot worse. But what it did was it slowed traffic down just enough. They actually hit again at the bottom of the hill, and a lot of guys had to hit the brakes. And that's what separated the field from the front 7 and everybody thereafter. So it was that's what really set the tone for the entire race, and a great day for the guys that were able to be in front of that. That all came down to qualifying, really. That shows how important a high qualification spot is on races like today. If you don't get that good qualification spot, you can get caught up in something like that. And no matter how fast you are, it's almost impossible to get up there. But a big congratulations to Madison Down. And I tell you what, Kane, it is that time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show presented by v8sonline. Want to let you know I'm JD Smith, Kane Craft, with me a 4th of July special. And Kane, are you ready for the post-race show, my friend?
It's always the fun part of the broadcast to get to the end of the race and get to the Get Dirty MX post-race show and welcome the drivers to get their take on the race and any other topics that JD has up his sleeve for the night.
Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen,
Then my tires went away.
Uh-oh, Madison. Welcome to the show, brother. And I just wanted to bring you in real quick and congratulate you on that phenomenal performance here at Mosport. Tell us about the start of that race and really just how you kind of broke away from the pack.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. It was a pretty close race up the front, but yeah, I got an absolute shocker of a start. I went nowhere off the line. Just basically dumped the clutch, not enough clutch slip, and bogged it down. So I was a bit of a sitting duck in the first few corners, but yeah, kept my eyes forward on the back straight. Richard had a big look at me. I just held my line against the white line and made him go the long way, and he couldn't get it done on the outside. And from there, I knew the draft was huge up that back straight, so I needed to make sure I had a bit of margin throughout the rest of the race. So I concentrated really hard in the next 2 or 3 laps to really nail the middle sector of the lap to get that margin on the back straight. But congratulations to Richard as well. He pushed me all the way. It didn't probably look like it from the outside, but we had a great battle lap time wise. It was just punch after punch, trading blows, and also my teammate Sean Kelly as well for finishing a strong third.
Yeah, actually, Sean had a fantastic race back there. There was a minute there we thought he was going to catch Richard Hampstead, and it would have been a real fun battle if that would have commenced. But all in all, a great day, Madison, and what a day to win here at the V8's Americas Series right here on the 4th of July, brother. A great victory.
Yeah, thanks, JD. It's been a bit of a lean season for me, so I've had a few Americas wins and one Monday night win, but yeah, great to get another win for the Ultimate Karting Sydney guys. I know they always tune into the broadcasts, so yeah, good to get the orange and white car back up the front of the field again.
Absolutely, brother. And it looked great there on the broadcast. So I want to say hello to all the guys for watching the broadcast. It's great to have you guys watching week in and week out. And I'm sure you enjoyed watching Madison put that car in the victory lane. Well, Madison, is there anything special you want to say, buddy? You're the race winner.
Oh, no, just thanks to all you guys for broadcasting week in, week out. I don't tend to race this series full time, but I always enjoy myself when I do, and tonight was no different. So thanks, guys, for putting it on, and thanks to all the other drivers in the race. It was it was always entertaining, always fun.
Well, Madison, I'm really glad that you're here. In fact, I know that you've come and had a post-race interview with us, but I don't know that you've ever been on the Get Dirty MX post-race show with us. So hang tight. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Richard Hampstead in, our second place driver. We do things a little bit different here in the Get Dirty MX post-race show. We kind of keep you here with us, and we're going to have a little bit of a discussion here, and I'm glad that you're here. You'll see why in just a minute. Without further ado, though, let's bring in Richard Hampstead. Richard, do you have a copy with us, brother?
Yeah, hey guys.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too unhappy with my race.
Oh man, second place, finishing in front of Sean Kelly. It's gotta be always good when you're finishing ahead of a guy that fast. He had a good run there for a minute. I thought you two were gonna have a nice battle, but you did a really good job of keeping the car very smooth. The lap times were solid, and it looked like you had everything under control.
Yeah, well, pretty much the first lap sorted out the rest of the race, really. I got past Sean into turn one, and then I had a bit of a crack at Madison towards the end of the lap, but wasn't any way through, and then we pretty much just... Madison had a bit of pace on me at the start, and then we sort of just had about the same pace from, I don't know, lap 10 on. All of us, Madison, me, and Sean, so... Yeah, and I made a bit of a mistake, which cost me some time, but yeah, not too eventful.
Yeah, it was really fun having you guys come on the Americas race. It's always a privilege to have you guys here with us. It's been a great season, and I was telling Madison down just a second ago about, I don't know if we've ever had you on the Get Dirty MX post-race show, but what I do is we do a little interview and bring everybody in here together, and we have a little group discussion on issues around the series and around iRacing. And since it's the 4th of July, we got some special things to talk about, so we're glad that you're here, buddy.
All right, cool. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Richard Hampstead, everybody. He ain't going anywhere. We got plenty of talking. Let's bring in Madison's teammate, Mr. Sean Kelly, from the Hybrid Racing Simulations Ford Falcon. Hey, that's right. How's it going, Sean?
Hey, yeah, good guys. How yous?
Oh, fantastic. You know the drill, brother. Welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show. Sean Kelly, a fantastic run out there today. You're leading the point standings by 35 points going into the race today, and today really helped that a lot. With Marlon falling back a little bit, it's looking good for you, Sean.
Yeah, well, when I looked at the points a couple weeks ago after Supercars Americas, and I took over the lead at Sebring, and they extended that Supercars Americas, and yeah, Marlon got really unlucky because a couple of my wins were really high strength of fields, which just gave me an extra 20 points. So that was going to make it really difficult for Marlon to come back in these last 4 races, because races he would have needed 2 high strength of field results and probably another win. So yeah, so he got really unlucky with the strength of field, luck of the draw there, and so yeah, it's worked out good for me though.
I'll say so, buddy, but I don't think it's there might be a little luck in there, but a lot of that skill you've drove really well this season, and it's definitely shown you deserve every bit of it. You from the first race you came into the Americas this season, you put down fantastic results, and it wasn't just luck. I think you've done a fantastic job.
Yeah, cheers. When I think back like a year and a half ago, there's heaps of fast guys coming into the series, and I was like, oh, here we go. I'll start dropping that order now, and of course, none of us really. We all keep improving a little bit, so I've still been there, and it's just been nice running this Americas series, having a chance to run at the front, because when you got like Madison and Hampstead and others in the main race, it's so impossible to get podiums almost, and so it's just been a nice change for the last 2 years to be able to have a few races and remember what it's like to sort of know what you need to do to run at the pointy end.
Absolutely, buddy. And with only 2 weeks left, man, it just do what you keep doing, and I think you're going to be just fine, brother.
Yeah, cheers.
And you know the drill. Don't go anywhere. Let's bring in the guy you're actually fighting with in the point standings. Let's talk to him. Well, I don't even know if he's in here. He's not right now, so or actually he is. I'm going to pull him up from his team channel. Let's bring in Marlon for a quick word. Marlon, do you have a copy with us, buddy?
Sure do, guys.
Oh, how's it going, buddy? I tell you what, Marlon, I know it's another crazy start to a race. Bo Kibis had a little bit of contact with Jake Burton at the beginning of the race. It kind of separated the front 6 cars from the rest of the field, and I saw you kind of got caught up in that a little bit, and it actually tell us a little bit about the start of that race and how it kind of caused the entire pace of your race.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of you guys actually caught. I actually went on for about 2 laps, but other than that, just minding my own business, and Jake and Bo were going at it pretty hammer and tong, so I just decided to hang back there and see if anything happened, and they nearly went off the track a couple of times, but yeah, it just started bunching up the field behind us, and then all of a sudden, what happened? Can't really remember. I think Bo just got away, and that's right. I had a battle with Jake side by side, and he just gave me a tap on the rear bumper coming on the front straight, and yeah, that was scary. It's not nice facing the wall for half a second at 90 degrees to the left, but got away with it. But other than that, it separated us by 6 seconds, and yeah, from there on, just had no pace. So.
Absolutely. Well, it was definitely not a fun place to race in, but I thought you handled the situation very well. You were stuck in between 2 kamikaze cars. And I know that was tough. You got one in front of you and one behind you. And I thought you handled it very well. Tell us about what it was like in between those 2.
Yeah, I had a really good battle with Sam and Michael. And yeah, Sam was coming at me for a long time. And I'll be honest, I'm terrible at this track. I just can't get the flow of it. I don't know what it is about this place, but I'm just not there for some odd reason. So yeah, I let Sam go and had a really good stoush behind him, trying to catch him back up, but then Michael slowly came and put the pressure on, and then I saw Tobias off at the last few laps, and then he had a really good battle with Michael towards the end, and unfortunately just dropped off in the last couple of laps, and it just gave me enough to break away.
Fantastic. I'm going to bring your teammate in now, Marlon. Hang with us. We always got tons to talk about here on the post-race show. So I'm going to, without further ado, let's bring in Curtis Chipaway, the newest member of the Power Bond race team. Curtis, welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show, brother. Tell us a little bit about the race in the purple and black machine.
Yeah, that was a good race. I fell off during the mid, but the start was good. I felt good coming into this.
You look
It,
good.
yeah, we did a lot of work on the car to get it running, and I had good pace through the entire race, but I was just a little off the front there.
I tell you what, it was really fun watching you battle with your own teammate. Y'all weren't really uh, pushing each other too bad, but you were having fun, it looked like, you and Tobias. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was actually getting kind of concerned because he was getting pretty close at some points, and then and then at some point he just dropped off. I don't know what happened. I just noticed it.
It was fun for us to watch too. We didn't know what was going on. It made for fun viewing, that's for sure. I was like, surely he won't push him out of the way, will he? But he would. But I think what happened was he was, I don't know, you know what? Let's ask him himself. Is he in here? Let's see if Tobias is in the room. He is. Let's bring Tobias in and bring him in this chat. Tobias, welcome to the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show. And first of all, before we even get into this, I just got to say, welcome back to the Americas. We've missed you, brother.
Hey, thank you guys. Unfortunately, it won't happen too often, I would say.
I know. It's like, it's what, 4 in the morning or 5 in the
It's
morning?
now 5, yeah.
At 5 in the morning, and you can race like that. I couldn't even keep my eyes open, man. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah,
But
I'm surprised. It went pretty well, the first 22 laps.
I'll say so. Well, what I brought you in here was actually in the middle of interviewing your newest teammate, Curtis Chipaway, and we were talking about y'all's little battle back in between 4th and 5th there, and I kept thinking you were going to get him, and then you'd fall off. You'd get up there, get real close, and then fall off. Tell us about it.
Yeah, he was pretty quick. He had also at one time the shot at Sean, so I didn't attack him too much because I basically felt I was never far close enough. So he had amazing pace in quali. I struggled a bit in quali so far, and also then race pace. I was surprised. I think it was caused by the draft he gave me that I could do so many mid-19s. But then, yeah, when he was away, I think I overdrove the car a bit. I lost front, couldn't turn in, and started battling with Bo.
Fantastic. Tobias, we really enjoyed watching it, and it really was fun. Curtis, you heard it from the man right there. He's talking about your pace, so that ought to make you feel a little better about your race, man.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm a little disappointed I couldn't catch Sean, but it was a good race otherwise.
I tell you what I do want to talk about. I do want to bring Bo Cubis in here real quick. And Bo, welcome to the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show. Do you have a copy with me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, mate.
Fantastic. I want to talk to you, buddy, about your race today. Ultimately, a good day, top 5 for you. Thought you did really good there in the old bottle machine. And tell us about that funky start to the race. You and Jake Burton, a little bit of contact there. Tell us what happened.
I've got a pretty ordinary start as usual with these V2 pedals. I'm having a bit of trouble with the funny clutch that they got. But yeah, I actually thought it was Marlon that I was side by side with for the first few corners, and it wasn't until I watched the replay I realised it wasn't. But yeah, no, it was a bit of a case of the old spotter didn't just as I decided to commit myself to the apex on turn 1, Jake appeared there, but yeah, the spotter wasn't sort of on its game. It's all fair.
Well, I thought you did a really good job. You stayed on task. After that happened, you really stayed focused, kept the mental focus in there, and your race turned out ultimately a good day.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest problem that I have lately is trying to control my nerves and whatever. First 2 or 3 laps I had the old shaky foot going, having a bit of trouble putting the power down smoothly and that, but once I realised there was no one behind me, and it was all about just staying with Tobias and Curtis, I settled down and I was able to, you know, settle into a groove and eventually get past Tobias, albeit a little bit unfairly.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, I do want to bring in here. Let's bring in Jake Burton and talk to him from his side of the thing here. And Jake, welcome to the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show, pal.
Hi JD, how we going?
You know it. It's 4th of July, man, here in America. I'm doing fantastic, buddy. Special edition of the show. But tell us about that start. I just got through talking with Bo. You two actually had a great side-by-side race going through the first couple turns and just the tiniest bit of contact. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
Yeah, well, I got a decent start and managed to pull up in front of Marlon and thought I'd have a crack at Bo and yeah, it just got a little bit too tight, you know, the starts how they are and I probably wasn't quite there and Bo probably turned over just a little bit and there was a bit of contact, but we got straightened out and all was fine, no harm done, so yeah, it was fine.
Well, you fixed my closing points for this. That's exactly right. Y'all actually closed it out nice. It could have been a rough spot, but y'all both saved it nicely and kept going.
Yeah, it was good. I'm not too much of a fan of what happened the next couple of laps, but you know, that's racing. I had a couple good weeks. You're bound to have a bad one, but yeah.
Sounds great, my friend. Well, I tell you what, Jake, it wasn't your best week in the race when your car had tons of damage, but I know that you'll be back next week with the normal pace, brother.
Yeah, of course. I'm a fan of Montreal, and today I just got knocked on the front straight, which slowed me down, and then got in a little bit of an accident with Michael Fulcher, which I'm really sorry for. I turned over on him, but yeah, luckily he was able to finish the race. But yeah, what happened on the front straight was what started it all. But oh well, we'll move on. Heads up for next week. So.
Good point. Let's talk to Michael real quick. Michael Fulcher, welcome to the Get 30 MX post-race show, brother. Just got through talking with our good friend Jake Burton, and he was throwing an apology your way. But how about your race tonight?
Yeah, g'day JD, and thanks for the apology there, Jake. Mate, it was pretty action-packed first couple of laps. I really had to get out of the throttle in a few places where I could have been on it, just because it was so hectic, you know. And it sorted out. I thought I had plenty of room up the inside of Jake, and I haven't had a look at it yet, but Jake's already said he closed the door a bit hard on me, so that's all good. Car felt still pretty good. Don't think I got any damage, and yeah, I felt I could have got Marlon. I had a good bit of pace on him in a few areas on the track, but he'd get out of the hairpin onto the back straight better than me, and I couldn't get in enough draft to have a go at the end of the straight. Yeah, a few little mistakes on the last lap, but I'm happy, mate. Top 10, strong field, all good.
I thought you did fantastic. You're right, top 10. Way to be happy, man. And I tell you what, it was fun watching you try to get Marlon McMullen there for a while. I thought you were going to get him. Just ran out of laps.
Yeah, well, I was sort of saving what I had for the last lap, because I did have pace on them in a few areas, and coming into the back section, back S's, and into the last turn is where I was going to have my dive. But I just pushed too hard for it on the last lap and blew the chance. But it was pretty exciting.
It was fun. We actually went on board with Marlon for a couple laps, and we're watching him, and we were thinking he was going to catch Sam there for a little bit, and just never could do it. And y'all three had a great little race to watch. It really was fun. So even though y'all were a little bit further back in the field than you probably wanted to be, it was excellent racing. Enjoyed it.
Thanks, mate. It's good to hear. And a shout out to Sam Collins too. Awesome driving to get around Marlon and hold the pressure to stay there. Well done, teammate.
Yeah, we he did good. We had a little thing going. We said, "Oh man, Marlon's in a kamikaze sandwich there." So he was stuck in between the two of y'all.
He certainly was.
Not where you want to be. Oh man, great talking to you, buddy. Hang around. We got some great topics to talk about. We only have just a few more interviews. Let's bring in Mike Yo real quick for a quick word. Mike Yo, welcome to the Get 30 MX post race show, buddy.
Hey JD, Kane, how you going, guys?
Fantastic. The Finn car Ford Falcon looked good tonight, buddy. Had fun watching you in and out of a battle, back and forth, back and forth. That had to be as fun for you as it was for us to watch.
Yeah, if only my front tyres hung on and I would have been able to take it to the end, but no, that was a wicked race with Sanjan. Great start, and the pass that he made, yeah, he was just putting the pressure on, and just was good fun, dudes.
Oh, fantastic fun. I tell you what, wait till you get to watch it back on the broadcast here shortly. It really was a treat, and thought you raced a great race tonight. And we go to another Canadian track next week, buddy. So we'll be excited to see what you bring to the table at the next Canada track.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. If again, if I'm not working, I'll try and be here. But I just made this one, and like I said, I had a brilliant race with Sanjin, and like a few others said, I think the tyres were just a bit off and on or hit and miss, and my fronts just decided to disappear at the wrong time, and yeah, that sort of set me back for a tight finish with Sanjin. But yeah, well done to him, and well done to the front three.
Absolutely, brother. Hang tight. I'm going to bring in our good friend Graham, or as you guys know him, Bones. And Bones, welcome to the Get 30 MX post-race show. I will make you. Normally I bring you in last, but I won't bring you in last this week. I usually like to bring you in last because you're just always so great to talk to. But what's going on, brother?
How you going, JD Kane?
Doing good, buddy. 4th of July, man. Fireworks are going on outside the house right now. And here we are inside doing the post-race show. You got to love that. Good race tonight, Bones. I was very proud of you. And before we go any further, I don't think Sanjin's in here, no. So I will have to tell you so you can let him know. You guys, your paint schemes tonight, top notch, brother. Top notch.
Yeah, I whipped up one for Jim. He's going to put a bit of an American flag on it, so I went through and found that and whipped it up on Thursday and gave it to him. So he ran it in the Thursday race, but he wasn't racing tonight. So. I just made it with 5 minutes to go to get into this one, and
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful, man. Definitely paint scheme of the week. By far, that's got to be in the running for paint scheme of the season. That I loved it. Looked really good.
we thought we'd better do something for your big day. So.
That's right, man. The good old 4th of July, and it just really fit the occasion. And you raced well, man. You had a great race out there.
Yeah, Greg Sharp and Matt Orr, yeah, kept the pressure on me there for a while. I sort of was tagging on behind Michael Yao and Sanjin for a while, but then they disappeared, and then it was start looking in my mirrors in, and Greg, yeah, he caught right in the last couple of corners. I thought he was going to get me on the last corner, but sort of just managed to hang on.
Man, that's fantastic, Bones, and always a pleasure talking to you, pal, and best of luck to you next week. I got to bring in Chad Chastain. He's up there in the race channel all by himself, so I'm going to bring him in here to be a part of the group so we can get this thing started. But first of all, let's talk to our good friend Chad. Chad, what's happening, brother? Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, man.
You know it, brother. And tell me about the start today. Did we, I don't know, I looked up and you were 2 laps down or 3 or what, we didn't know what happened.
You know, I jumped in late, got about a half a lap in, was practicing a start, and my screen froze, and, you know, the hard luck season continues, but that's all right. You know, the Simpit.com Falcon was really good this week. I mean, I thought I had a top 5 car, but apparently God doesn't want me to finish well. He's trying to teach me something, and I'm just not listening.
That's right, buddy. It was the fireworks outside or the 12-pack you put down before the race. One or the two, we're sure. But no, buddy, it's just luck tends to run like that. And we know for sure you have the talent. Obviously, it was there big time last season. You almost won the championship. Marlon edged you out there at the end. But it's just one of those seasons. We've seen it time and time again. And just keep doing what you're doing, brother. You'll be back on top of your game in no time.
Right on. Thanks.
Oh, you know it. Well, guys, it's time. I thank everybody for hanging around for the Get Dirty MX post-race show. For those of you that may have just joined us, I do want to let you know that we want to congratulate Madison Down again for winning tonight's race in the Americas Series at Mosport. It was a fantastic race. Also on the podium tonight, Richard Hamstead in the 2nd position, and 3rd place was Sean Kelly, our points leader. And then we have had great interviews with all the drivers, but I do want to let everybody know while they're here, and for all the viewers out there watching the race before we get on with tonight's topics, I want to let you know that we have a fantastic little bit of a competition, or not a competition, not a contest going on. And what we're doing right now is we want you to take a picture of yourself watching the race and then send it into our Facebook page, V8's Online's Facebook page, and it enters you for a chance to win iRacing credits from your friends at V8's Online. That's right. We want some new content, send it in. You can be this week's winner. Last week, we had to congratulate Joe Bergman for sending in his mug and winning some fancy content. So that's all you got to do. And tell you what, I even had a driver just tell me he sent one in. He kept a promise. Jake, did you? I saw you type it. Let's see it, buddy. He said he was going to take a picture of himself driving, and there it is. Beautiful shot there, Jake.
Yeah, I had quite a bit of damage, so it's quite an effort to do that, I'll say. That's why it's quite distorted, but yeah.
That's still pretty good, my friend. That was that was pretty good. I like that. One of the first drivers to ever send in his picture of. I guess you technically weren't watching the broadcast. You were help making the broadcast. So that's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty legendary. But we got some great topics tonight, guys. We thank all of the drivers for coming here and hanging out with us. Kane, there was something that you were talking about, buddy. Just as we were getting in tonight's show, we want to bring that up for us, if you still remember.
Oh, it had to do with 4th of July. We that's what it was. We seen the paint schemes on the Altitude Volvo cars and the Bila cars, and I was wondering about, and not only that, last week I think one of the Australian drivers had mentioned that they'll be having fireworks and things like that on today on the 4th of July. And so my question to the Australian guys, and even the Kiwis if we have some in here, which I guess we do, what is the what is 4th of July over in Australia? What does the Independence Day in America mean to the Australians?
If anything.
Yeah, if anything. Maybe it's just a day that has fireworks. I don't know.
It's a day that you get. It's a day that you get to let off fireworks. We don't, except for in the Northern Territory here.
We don't really celebrate Independence Day, but we got Australia Day, so.
Yeah, the only thing where there may have been celebrations in Australia was that it was actually Friday this year, so we always celebrate Fridays.
Well, I understand why Kane asked this question, and for example, we celebrate here. Now, it's not like the government and things like that don't celebrate it, but a lot of citizens celebrate Cinco de Mayo for Mexico on their Independence Day. And it's actually not even their Independence Day. Most Americans just think it is. It's I can't even remember what it is, but basically it's just a big party day. Everybody goes out to the Mexican restaurants and they drink margaritas and tequila shots till they pass out and eat tacos all night. It's great.
That's what we do on Friday.
Exactly.
Fridays.
So if y'all do that every Friday, I'm packing up my bags. I'll be in Australia next week, fellas.
Just from the older perspective, we used to celebrate Guy Fawkes night, whatever it is, many years ago when we were allowed to have fireworks, but too many kids were blowing fingers off. So
what was that? You said you celebrated what?
Guy Fawkes night.
Guy that wanted to blow up Parliament.
Okay, gotcha. Well, we're curious to see how things are around the world. That's one of the great things about this series is we have drivers from all over the world, literally all over the globe. In fact, just in this post-race show, we got Australian guys, American guys. We got Tobias. You're over in Germany somewhere, aren't you?
I'm about to go to the bed now, I have to say. Get a small nap until start of Saturday basically.
Yeah, Tobias is. Somebody said you're from Jupiter. That was Jake Burton there. Yeah, you're from your own little time zone in Germany. By the way, quick off subject. Watched your boys play France today, and I will say I was happy to see you guys beat France today. So.
Yeah, I was happy as well. I was awesome, and yeah, pretty glad that Mats scored the goal.
I tell you what, let's moving back on to some issues. Guys, if we want to look back to last week's post-race show, we had a lot of great things to talk about. The number one thing we talked about last week was the driver swaps after the article was released by iRacing about it would not be here for this build, but the following build. They're basically promising but not promising that it'll be there. And it was a great article for those of you that missed the show. Be looking forward for driver swaps. Go back and watch the post-race show from last week. But one of the things that I want to talk about this week is, well, I just lost it right there. I had it right on the edge of my finger. I had something special. Hold on.
Show's over.
Yep, show is over. It's
Lost the
all
topic.
over. We lost the topic.
I'm
no,
sure you'll think of it.
I will, and it was really good too. Oh, it's going to come to me. Well, obviously we've talked about the teams coming in next season to the Americas Series. By the way, since we have some of the new drivers in here that weren't here, we are going to have a team championship next year. We'll announce that again. So that's some new information for some of the guys. But I had a great thing I wanted to talk about. It's very, very important, Kane, and now I've forgotten it. While I'm trying to think of it, does anybody have anything that they want to bring up? I'll leave it to y'all for a second.
Yeah,
Early onset dementia.
What I meant. Sorry, the Derek Spears design competition. Anyone go in that? He was giving away a set of pedals tonight.
That is right. Bones, I wanted to bring that up. That is one of the things I had forgot. Thank you for telling me that. Tell us about that. A lot of the guys don't know about it. Give us a little bit of information about that.
A lot of people will know Derek for his button boxes and a lot of other little trinkets he makes, but he's into making pedals at the moment, and this week he's given a set away. Yeah, just had to go to his website and find, and he had a cryptic clue how to find where to actually enter, and yeah, it was drawn tonight, and the winner was Russell Clayson of the California Club. So he's got himself a set of brand new pedals thanks to Derek. Derek's always giving away stuff, so.
Awesome. Congratulations.
He's got great stuff, so yeah, if you ever get a chance, go have a look at his website, Derek Spears Design.
Oh, the pedals are supposed to be fantastic also.
Oh, they look great.
And I need a new set of pedals so bad. In fact, I'm going to start a Facebook movement, jdneedsnewpedals.com. It's going to be great. I remembered, fellas, what it was that I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to talk about a good buddy of ours, Paul Slavonic. If you guys haven't had a chance or don't know who Paul is, Paul writes great articles on the V8 Supercars in the In Racing News column. And Paul, I just have enjoyed reading his articles each week about all of you guys. I'm sure y'all have read it, but he drives about all you guys each and every week and how you're doing in the series. And I actually sent him a message and he wrote me back. And I think next week we'll have Paul on the show and it's going to be really great. But the reason I wanted to bring him up is I would love to see us as a community really support Paul and the articles he writes on In Racing News. I think it's a great way to show how great this V8 supercar community is.
That's pretty wild.
It's just, I think it's really great. He takes a lot of passion and pride in his articles. And have any of y'all ever read his articles?
Yep.
Pretty good.
There you go, man. And he'll be here next week, so we'll just. I don't think he's watching the show tonight, but we'll welcome him.
You have to admire the guy. You know, he's from Texas. He's an American here with us, but he's got all the information from the Monday night races. So he's got to stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning to watch those races over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he gets up and records it and then reviews it later on.
It's fantastic. We need to give him just a big thank you. But he will. He'll be on the show, I believe, next week.
And the more he writes, the more information he gets in. You know, I read last week's, he was quite a bit more inclusive of drivers throughout the entire field of drivers instead of just talking about the top 2 or 3 positions, like what can seem to happen sometimes in a broadcast or something like that. And he was more inclusive of everybody, which was nice. And I think the more that he writes, the better he'll get at all that stuff, and seems to be the case so far.
Yeah, well, he got a bit of feedback about that. And it was really good to see. The very next article he wrote, he'd taken all that feedback into account. Thought he wrote a great article. KRT had a really good night that night. Usually we wouldn't have got a mention, but we were in the top 10, and we got a really good mention. So I was really happy with that.
Yeah, I mentioned to him that the very first article he did, there was literally, it was good, but you know, he'd only really spoken about the front runners, and he forgot some of the lesser teams and guys running in the big battles at the back. And I just mentioned that to him, and he did a really good job of incorporating guys like Fulch and KRT and stuff like that who were having good racing. So he did good.
And then he went and didn't mention you because you ran a great race and ran fourth right in the middle of the pointy end and the other battles.
Another thing I like is he includes the tags to you guys' Facebook pages, which is nice.
Yes, that is very nice for us broadcasters to get information. I tell you what, I'd just love for us to show great appreciation for him out there. If you catch an article, leave a comment for him, just to let him know it's appreciated. The more that we support him, the more that his article will be read, and the more you guys get covered. And that's the same
Every bit
way.
of coverage for the series is good, so any bit of coverage we can get, whether it be a newspaper-style article or whether it be a Friday night broadcast on the Americas show, it all goes to promote you guys, your sponsors, your teams, and ultimately it makes the series that much better.
Absolutely, and that's the same thing with our broadcast. The more you guys promote us out of here, the more you get covered, the more your sponsors get seen, and the more that we get, the more our video gets out. I know that we have thoroughly enjoyed covering this series, and but let's move on a little bit in the post-race show. I got a couple things I want to talk about, and this is one of my favorite things to bring up, and I brought it up every week, and I'm going to bring it up again because the rumor mill is always churning on iRacing, as you guys know, but I know some of y'all have the inside. And where's Jim Davey tonight? He's usually the one that always
I know
has
you do
to...
the whole rumor thing because you know that I enjoy facts. Not
I do.
I think you do it just to make me shiver.
You have found me out, Kane. The best broadcasting partner in the world, and he knows I'm always out to get him here. No, I just want to know if anybody has any idea on what we will see this build. It's coming up 3 weeks, guys. 3 weeks, 4 at the most. I don't know what it is because everything's getting moved off to the fourth quarter build. What can they do this build? I mean, what is there? What can they do?
Donington Park for sure. I'm pretty sure for sure.
Are you?
Yeah,
are you
definitely. It's already in the schedules for next season.
Is it okay? So we know Donington. Okay, so that's good. We get a new track. That's awesome.
And we'll see some more new tire build on some more cars.
Yeah, and also if we see Donington, we're probably likely to see the new Phoenix for oval guys.
Well, now the new Phoenix is just a repave, right?
Yeah, and that is true. Phoenix, they did say that Phoenix would be there for season 3, the repave of Phoenix.
I think they changed the back straight a bit. I'm not quite sure though.
They did. They it's no longer grass as much. They really widened that out on the tri-oval part or something. I remember there's some part of it that they put a lot more pavement down on.
I'm worried because Phoenix is one of my favorite ovals. I love Phoenix, and if I'm worried when they change it.
Well, whatever they change it to, it'll be the way it is now and the way that it's supposed to be, so you shouldn't be worried.
Well, all I know is that it's. I think it's going to be a baby, a little baby-sized build compared to what we're going to have in the fourth quarter when we get the brand new car of the future.
And we do see that a lot with the third quarter build, as you mentioned before, that the fourth quarter build is one that they usually strive to make as big as possible. We usually see a lot of content released in that fourth quarter, so sometimes that third quarter build typically has been a little bit smaller than most other builds. But 2 tracks released, that's not really too small. That's pretty good.
Not too shabby. What are your opinions, fellas? What you want to see?
Oh, good question, really. I want to see the new V8 come out, but we all know that's not going to happen for next build. But
I want it so bad, though. I mean, Madison, it's. They told me about this right around the new year. They showed me a picture of it.
yeah,
I want it.
yeah, I know, and I think it'll be pretty well done too, because I remember reading an article in one of the Australian motorsport magazines about Triple Eight race engineering. Jamie Whincup, Craig Lowndes, and that's the car that they scanned. And anyway, there was a wildcard car that raced last year in the Bathurst 1000, and they used iRacing in their 6-axis simulator they have in their factory. And those guys were running top 10 pretty much all day long, and one of the drivers had never driven the track before. So I think that Triple Eight being involved in the iRacing build will be really good, because Triple Eight is very professional, and if they're actually using iRacing as driver training and setup type purpose in their factory, I think they'll really do a good job on the car.
Yeah, we've seen how good some of their latest cars have been, like the BMW. Really, they feel really good. So yeah, I think everyone's got high hopes.
Man, this is really positive. Madison, thanks for sharing that, because I had not heard that yet. That just got me even more excited. And the BMW, you're right, Sean. It is absolutely out of this world. It's phenomenal. I love the BMW, and I'm excited, but I am worried. And I'm worried because part of one of the we love the way this car drives now. I'm just afraid of it changing too much.
No, I think it'll still be a massive handful. It's still overpowered, under-tired, with no aero, so it's still going to be difficult.
Yeah, everyone's kind of expecting the tyre model to make it heaps easier to drive. I don't really think it will. I think it may gain a little bit more mechanical grip, judged on like the NASCARs, for example. I think they've actually got a little bit more mechanical grip than the V8 does, and I think that's a good thing. But like the NASCAR, it's got a heap of power, and it weighs a lot for a race car. No aero, lots and lots of horsepower, and it's not going to be easy to drive like the GT cars. So I think a lot of people are actually going to be disappointed that it won't change, but I'm really hoping it doesn't change too much like you, JD, because that's why we love the car.
Yeah, because it's still got average brakes as well, and that's a pretty big factor too.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's coming out mid-season, so we're going to have a bit of a chance to get used to it before the season starts, and Bathurst, of course.
When is Bathurst, fellas? What is the date of Bathurst? Or around?
It's in October.
Yeah, second weekend of October.
So okay, so second weekend of October. So we're looking at season 4 build comes out.
Yeah, roundabout. It'd be
right around there.
Yeah, it'd be really good to see it before Bathurst. Maybe even a week before if they could do it, and you'd have a whole bunch of possibilities with running Bathurst round the same week, or even hosting stuff the same week. It would be great.
With driver swaps.
Who's bringing their rig to the track?
I'm a little bit worried if they do release it mid-season. It would be good to be able to run the whole forward around Bathurst around the time that Bathurst is actually raced. But what's going to happen to the championship of the old one, the one we're racing now, when the new one comes out?
Good point.
Dramatically drop off mid-season.
Yeah, I think they're going to just replace the car. And I don't know whether they'll do it mid-season, because I know with the new tyre model when that came out, they did that in week 4 of the championship, and that was down to a vote. We were so desperate for the new tyre model, they brought it out mid-season for us, and it replaced it. So we didn't have a problem with that. And I don't think many people would have a problem with it now. But I think my understanding is at the moment, I don't know, but I would assume, given on what they've done with NASCAR in iRacing, that this current V8 will just not be used in any official series once the new one comes out. So if it does come out mid-season, they'll just drop the current Ford and bring the new Ford and new Holden in to replace it.
There was talk about using it as like a Dunlop series development car, but I'm pretty sure that got shut down pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a little bit pointless because I think in real life you can understand the idea behind a development series and old cars and stuff like that being cheaper, hand-me-down cars, but there's not really a need for that in iRacing, and I don't think anyone would drive the old car just for fun and deliberately race in a Dunlop series. I think you could do Dunlop series type stuff in iRacing, but you're always going to be using Car of the Future because it's the newest car and it's the one getting all the updates. So I don't really think there's going to be a need to use the old car once the new one comes out. But sure, it might be fun in hosted every now and then to throw it on the track or something for a bit of a retro type race.
Little throwback, maybe a race of champions down the road or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I like it. Sorry, there's also the more content that iRacing bring out, they're not necessarily growing in numbers. So everything's if they kept this series running and in the new series, everything's going to be diluted. Like I think iRacing is probably going to go in the way of the GT3 series and maybe start making more multi-car things to not to dilute the what's available for us to use.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's all about participation. I think with this, green light on Steam and stuff, they're really hoping to ramp up the numbers, and that's really what they need. Like I say, we can't really have too many more tracks and cars because, like I say, will get diluted, and it already is.
Yeah, and
that would be a good point as far as getting us other car. Like they've done with the GT, they're adding cars to the same series that we've got. We might see that as well with the Volvo and the BMW.
Hopefully.
Mercedes coming, not the BMW, but the Volvo and
the
Mercedes
Erebus
coming to the V8 Supercars.
Good point, Kane. Very good.
We've got, I was going to say, hopefully Scott McLaughlin has something to do with the Volvo or tries to convince them because he's obviously a bloke that plays iRacing a lot, so I'm sure that he would be in Volvo's ear a little bit trying to get them involved.
Yeah, I've spoken to him. He actually has had a word to the boss and tried to get the iRacing talking to him. So he wasn't sure whether they've actually spoke, but he gave him the contact details. So
that's good news. Maybe something could come of that.
Seen a picture of him on the forum with his new rig. That was just fantastic. Beautiful rig.
Oh, what one?
It'd be nice to get it promoted a little bit in the actual V8 Australia community. Maybe a bit of sponsorship on one of the cars from iRacing. Get it out there a little bit would really bring some numbers in for sure.
I actually thought something like what Madison done last year at the Sydney V8 round in the Aussie race car. If iRacing were to sponsor something like that, imagine the the publicity that'd get.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that wasn't really iRacing related, the thing that I did, but that certainly publicised sim racing in a massive way in Australia. I had a lot of people asking about it that weekend, and they couldn't believe it basically, and coming up and saying, "What's this sim racing thing and what's it all about?" And I was showing people stuff. So I think more stuff like that is good, but not even to throw sim races in cars. Just get it on more real racing cars, get it on TV a bit more, get it on broadcasts. Even the V8 Supercar website, a lot of people are only playing iRacing now because of the articles on the V8 Supercar website, and we don't quite have that coverage that we used to. But I think if iRacing was willing to get involved a little bit more, they'd get a heap more numbers.
Yeah, we only found out about it through you, Madison, so that's what I'm saying. They just don't advertise it that well.
And let me tell you this, that's a great view from Australia. And I can tell you from the American view, Kane, I don't know how you discovered iRacing. I came across iRacing from playing NASCAR, 13 or 12 or something like that. The NASCAR racing game on the PlayStation, and it was awful. It really was awful. And then I went back to playing NASCAR race in 2003, and I started watching these videos on YouTube, and I came across an iRacing video just from watching the suggested videos, and I said, "What in the hell is iRacing?" And then I looked it up. I started watching video after video of it, and I had never heard of it. And I literally was like, "This is the most amazing thing in the world. How come I've never heard of this?" And I went out, and that's when I got it, and I started buying content, and the next thing I know, I fell in love with it. But there's no advertisement for it, really. They don't get the word out enough.
Well, I know
Yeah, like
that since I participate in iRacing stuff and have been to iRacing sites, I know the advertising that I see for it is through the roof because it's obviously a Google word or something because every website I go now seems to have iRacing advertisements on it.
yeah, likewise, I just saw a video somewhere and thought that looks like fun. Went and bought a $30 wheel, and that was 3 years ago, and I've been hooked ever since. And I hadn't really done anything prior to that, but yeah, the awareness isn't quite out there. And if even a few of the people that play GT5, Need for Speed 4s and all that, they just don't know about it. But once they do, and they come across, they don't look back to the other sims.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly right. I remember I was in Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. That was my first competitive thing, and then went to R Factor. But the big selling point for me was when they signed the V8 Supercar and Phillip Island at Oran Park, and especially Oran Park. I being the local track for me, and it not existing anymore, that was a really big thing for me. But funny thing was, I bought iRacing and it didn't come out for 2.5-3 years anyway. But that got my foot in the door, and I think, as we were saying, particularly in Australia now with the Holden and the Ford coming, plus we've got a few Australian tracks to work with now. I think there would actually be quite a big market in Australia that would be interested because here, really, V8 Supercars is the only motorsport that most people actually care about.
Boom!
There's not really that
Boom!
many other forms that matter here.
Madison,
Yeah.
you nailed it. Hold on before we go any further. You nailed it because look, and I'm from America, okay? I don't even know what it's like over there other than what I hear from you guys. And let me tell you this. You can ask Kane right now. Several months back, I said, Kane, we have everything we need in America, okay? Our biggest motorsport by far, NASCAR. If I want to play NASCAR, I can go and buy a commercialized NASCAR game. Boom. I can race every NASCAR track, every licensed NASCAR driver on there. Everything I need right there. I can go get a Formula One game right now, every licensed Formula One track, every licensed driver, everything on there. But if you want to race V8 supercars, you can't go find anything with all the licensed cars on there, all the tracks on there. There's nothing that exists like that. Not in recent memory.
No,
And
not
so
recent.
I asked Kane, and I said, what can I do to go get, what if I wanted to just race for fun against, just run, and not iRacing. I wanted just something, because every now and again, I don't want to be serious with iRacing. I want to have fun and race against a crappy AI and have fun beating everybody. But you can't do that. There is nothing like that for the supercar. So if you get the Holden and the Falcon together on here, and like you said, we already got a handful of Aussie tracks. This could be huge over there because y'all don't have anything for iRacing type video game. And I hate to call iRacing a video game because it's not. But you know what? You get my drift of where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
I remember
They
seeing a
used
video
to.
of a NASCAR guy racing at the track. He had the iRace and they had it set up at one of the race events. So that'd be
Yes.
good Scotty brings his rig along to Bathurst and we can all have a go at it there. That'd be perfect for
Yeah,
him.
well, that's the problem. Like, there's no real stands in Australia with iRacing because of the whole commercial licensing problem.
Yeah.
So pretty much all the stands at our racetracks are all R Factor and R Factor mods. So people always, I think a lot of people know about R Factor compared to iRacing, and I think a lot more people play R Factor even still now for V8 Supercars and iRacing. But yeah, I know there is a few people that do the commercial iRacing thing, but I haven't seen one at any tracks in the last 2 or 3 years. So yeah, I think if iRacing was willing to actually set some stands up around racetracks themselves, or contract it out to people in Australia to do it, they'd get a heap more numbers. There's massive crowds that go to
They
V8
would.
rounds.
They would,
Yeah,
because look at the NASCAR participation, and you come over here to America, you go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. It's not R Factor simulators in the Hall of Fame. It's iRacing. Same at some of the tracks. It's iRacing simulators set up, not R Factor.
But the problem with the iRacing system being set up on a sim where you're trying to get, or set up in a situation where you're trying to get new members, is you got to pay to become a member. And they do have some free deals every once in a while, but because you have to log into your own account and drive on your own account, it makes it a little difficult for people coming in off the street to sit down, have a race, because they got to create an account and do all that.
But I like that, though. That's what makes iRacing so great.
It is, but it's also what prevents the big stores, racing stores and things like that, from putting in iRacing sims as opposed to R Factor sims, where just anybody can sit down and jump in, push the button, and go.
Exactly. If they had a different payment or subscription plan, so that these stands and at race meets and stuff could put iRacing, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, even just commercial type licenses, really, where you can buy 4 for your shop or buy 4 for your stand, and they're just commercial. And even if they banned them from going in official servers and saying you can only host servers and stuff like that, I think something like that would work.
Package.
That'd work,
Exactly. It'd probably be quite hard for them to program it up, but I think otherwise the big catch for a lot of people has been not being able to run the Holden, and a lot of people get hooked up on not having all the Aussie tracks. But yeah, once you get into it, and I just love running all the different tracks around the world.
People still say like, oh, V8 Supercars are silhouette cars. Yeah, they are. They're not too dissimilar to NASCAR now, but it's amazing how many people still that are Holden fans refuse to drive a Ford. It's just it is insane. There's so many people that I know who play R Factor that just go, I won't play iRacing because you got to drive a Ford. And
Are
it's
you
just
serious?
Stupid. Yeah,
they just put Volvo stickers on it.
Seriously, that is what it's like. And my iRacing cars mostly have looked like Holdens because I'm a Holden fan, but you can't get too caught up on that. And even though we've got 5 manufacturers in the real life series, I would say majority of Australia is still divided by the classic Holden and Ford, not Volvo, Nissan and Mercedes as well. It's still a bit of a Holden and Ford rivalry. So
that's what I was going to ask. I was just fixing to ask that because I know that I'm not a lifelong V8 supercar fan, gentlemen. I just found V8 supercars 2 years ago, not even, and I got in love with it so fast that I just absorbed all this information that I could. Kane helped me absorb a lot of it, and watching old races just constantly. And when I found out about this Ford Holden rivalry, and then all of a sudden we get all kind of new cars. We get Volvo involved. We're getting Mercedes in here, and we're getting Nissan. What's going on? I'm like, what? Who are these Ford and Holden fans going to now?
Yeah, well, they've been really welcomed, the new manufacturers, more than older Fords. So yeah, it's been quite good that everyone's welcomed them into the series really well. But yeah, the Holden and Ford rivalry is exactly the same as Ford and Chevy over in the States. And most Holden people like Chevys as well, and will put Chevys in their older Holdens and that sort of stuff too. So the rivalry is pretty much exactly the same as in the States.
Now the only difference is the Australian rivalry is super serious, where here in America there are Ford fans that are Ford fans, but I would say
they're more cut up about it.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that's a Ford fan that if our only choice was a Chevy that we'd say, nah, I'm not gonna do it. But in Australia we see that a lot, and like when drivers switch from Ford to Holden in the series, they lose a lot of fans just because they're not driving a Ford.
That happens in the South.
Did I say Chevy? If I said Chevy, I meant to say Holden.
I know, yeah, but that happens down in the southeast, Kane. I know people here in Georgia that they drove a Chevy, their daddy drove a Chevy, their granddaddy drove a Chevy, and their granddaddy's daddy then they drove the first Chevy in Georgia, and that's all their family will ever drive, and they will never be caught dead in a Ford.
Yeah,
They,
that's the same thing here.
and that it is like that in the South. Not everybody, obviously, but it still is like that down here.
You're right.
And that's
I
not
guess it's
just
because I'm kind of poor. If it's got 4 wheels and it goes, I'll drive it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love my Holdens. Always love my Holdens, but
Me too, brother.
I'd never give it a thought about that I'm driving a Ford. It just never enters my head week to week.
No, not for me either. I've got past that in iRacing anyway. But I was gonna say for me in real cars, I haven't had my license that long, and I've already owned 2 Holdens. And every car, actually, my family's a little bit strange because every car we've got is a Holden, except we've got one Ford, which is a little bit sacrilege for us. But yeah, we're allowed to, I suppose, with the Ford that it is.
It's great Ford, isn't it?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah. It's set.
It's an exception.
I was going to say we refer to that one as a Shelby or an AC, not a Ford.
Okay, that'll work.
That's cheating.
I love Ford.
I
Wait
love
a minute.
Fords anyway.
I just heard Jim Davies' voice. Way to be here late than never, Jim.
Well, somebody has to take the passengers up and down the railroad.
I guess so, buddy. Happy 4th of July. Welcome to the latter side of the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show.
Yeah, happy birthday, America.
That's right, man. Lady Liberty having a birthday party, all right? But I tell you what, that we're talking about the Chevy Ford or Chevy Ford rivalry or the Holden Ford rivalry, obviously across this ocean there. But what do you think about it, Jim? What is it like first of all, where you live, Jim? Where are you from?
East Coast. I'm just north of DC, just outside of Baltimore.
What's it like up there? Is there any diehard fans one way or the other? Like they will not drive the opposite?
Not from where I'm from, but where my wife's family's from, down in Southern Virginia. Yeah, it's definitely, it's big, like for life, diehard fans.
Yeah, it's still that way, but I think Australia's got it a little bit more diehard than we are here.
I think it's more widespread down there. I think it's more widespread in Australia, but they're pretty diehard down in the south.
They are down here in Georgia. They're pretty diehard. I mean, you got people that hang Chevy and Ford signs in their yards and stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah, over here, Holden people tend to group with Holden friends as well. You seem to get a lot of friends around you that got the same makes, and so it sort of accentuates a little bit more probably.
I was just thinking. I know we could probably go on this forever, but how did this start? I mean, how did this rivalry start in Australia?
Oh, just the local manufacturers, and I remember every time a new model come out in the old days, there'd be a little schoolyard buddy brawl over it. It's
You
looking
better
better than
believe
the
it.
Ford.
That's right. That's awesome.
I suppose it was the era. I obviously don't know, but I suppose it would have been the era early Bathurst days in the 60s, early 70s, where Holden would bring something out, Ford would match it or better it, then Holden would do the same, and that happened for years, probably 20, 30 years.
And that just developed an intense
Well, it still
rivalry.
happens now. It's still.
Yeah.
I was looking at a car magazine's thing on Facebook earlier this morning about having the performance Ford and the performance Holden on the dyno together and saying which one's going to produce more power. Find out in our magazine, next week. And you read the comments in that, and it's just constant. Oh, Ford will because Holden, overcompensates the power, whatever, and writes a bigger power figure on their car than what they've actually got, and all that kind of thing. It's funny. It still happens now. No different to in the 60s.
Yeah, it's an extra 10 kilowatts every year, it seems, eh?
Yeah. They just one releases one, and it'll be 307. Then the next one's 310. Ford does, and then Holden goes, all right, 320. It's just every one they bring out is just probably 10 kilowatts higher than their last, just to keep out matching each other. It's yeah. Even though they don't race production cars really anymore in Australia, they still do it.
Wow. Well, it's been fun. It's been a fun Get Dirty MX post race show. We ran it a little long tonight. Great race tonight, by the way, guys. That was awesome. And we've talked about a few different things tonight on this 4th of July special, and it is officially here on the eastern United States. It is now the 5th of July for 5 minutes now. So it's been fun, guys. But is there anything you guys wanted to bring up before we get out of here?
You can head off and watch the real V8s at Townsville. They're starting shortly if you want. Stay up a bit later.
That sounds like a winner right there. We need to watch that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Actually,
Townsville, huh?
good,
That's
good
fantastic.
point, Bones. Justin Ruggier I don't think he's raced Americas before, but he was used to race a lot in Monday night V8s in the Australian splits, and he's actually running in V8 Utes this weekend, which is the support category for the V8 Supercars. So he's running in the 3rd tier V8 Supercar category in Australia for a pretty big race team this year. But he was going to watch he was going to watch the 2nd tier part of his team, but he's found himself in a V8 Ute this weekend for a one-off drive. So I know it's a very competitive series because he qualified 24th yesterday and he was only 1.1 seconds off pole. And for a support category to be that competitive is amazing. So hopefully he can move forward a bit today. But yeah, very jealous.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And the Utes are a lot of fun to watch.
To drive the Utes, so hopefully he can get a good handle on it over the weekend as well.
What do you say about putting the brakes on and the front tyres feel like they've got rollers under them?
Macca's trays, Macca's trays under them. It's interesting because everyone would assume a Ute would be really oversteery, but it sounds like he was actually struggling a lot with understeer yesterday, so hopefully they can get on top of that. It didn't look like he ran in race 1 this morning though, so I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, hopefully he gets a bit of TV time over the weekend.
Man, that's awesome, guys. We'll have to make sure we support big time anybody from iRacing that makes it to any type of real world racing out there, especially if it gets televised. That's huge. I mean, we got to support them as a community. That's awesome.
Yeah, I hope he gets some in-car footage like you did, Madison, whenever you went and drove.
Yeah.
I hope he's able to get some of that. I'd like to
Yeah.
go to his Facebook page and see some of that in-car footage. Would be cool.
The only problem here with that, and I broke the rules a little bit with posting mine publicly because it's actually not allowed at any V8 Supercar race event. All the footage that's taken inside the car via GoPros, whatever, that is not allowed to be posted publicly. But as far as I can tell, in Aussie race cars, everyone else was uploaded. Well, a lot of other people upload it to YouTube, so I just did it and thought, if they ask for it to be taken down, I'll take it down. But no one's come up to me about it. But it seems like there's a bit of V8 Ute footage, Aussie race car footage on YouTube, so there shouldn't be any problems for Justin to upload it. But I know there's a problem with V8 Supercar onboard footage being uploaded. There's a whole bunch of issues there because Scott McLaughlin actually got fined a few $1,000s for uploading some last year to Facebook. So that's why you never see GoPro footage of V8 Supercars because they're very strict on it, and you shouldn't actually be able to see any GoPro footage at all from any V8 Supercar race. That's how strict they are with the ruling. I just don't think they police it in anything else except V8 Supercars. So that's the reason why you don't tend to see very much on board in Australia.
Yeah, it's a shame. It'd be good if they had like a time limit. After 3 months you could post it or something, but not to be.
It's all to do with TV rights because
like
Channel 7 owns, which is the network that shows it in Australia, they own all the rights to the coverage, and because even the support category races like V8 Utes, Aussie Race Cars, Carrera Cup, they're covered on Channel 7 on the same day that V8 Supercars are on, which places them under that license as well. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, but at the same time I can kind of understand why it's in place.
Yeah, and they're very strict on it too. I mean, I was amazed to go to the website and see that they'll allow you guys to subscribe to the V8 Superview, but you guys can't. And then you guys can, but you guys can't. It's,
we can and you can't. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, we're clear across the world and we can get it, but half the people in Australia can't get it or something. It's crazy.
But they get it on
Disappointing
TV.
news actually there for Justin. I just read that he pulled out of the event, so I'm not sure what's there because he's not appearing in the results. So I've just read that he's pulled out over the weekend, so I'm not too sure what
After the
happened there.
weekend.
But
Oh, shit.
he said someone said you didn't appear in race 2 results, and he just said we didn't race 1 either. We pulled out this morning, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. But maybe they were struggling too much on the Friday with the car or something. But yeah, that's a little bit disappointing.
Well, he is doing a fantastic job in is it Kumo Tire
Kumo,
Series?
Kumo Series, yeah.
2 second places so far. I would love to see some video footage of that too. I know that they do post it there on the Kumo site.
Well, guys, Kane, I'm gonna have to wrap it up there from my end there, brother. That's awesome news though about Justin Ruggier, guys. I just want to, not that he's out of the race, but just how he's been doing, and we need to keep everybody posted on the broadcast about that. Kane, we'll try to do our best to do that. Once again,
there's only been 2 races, and I've mentioned it each time. So.
Yeah, you've done good, man. You've kept me updated and everybody on the broadcast. Guys, thanks so much for coming and having a chat with us in the Get Dirty MX post-race show. Congratulations to Madison Down again winning at Mosport. Also, great days for Richard Hampstead and Sean Kelly as well as they rounded out our podium. And don't forget, this is a great opportunity to get some free iRacing credits courtesy of v8sonline. All you got to do is send in a picture of yourself enjoying the broadcast. Send it into v8sonline's Facebook page. Kane will throw up that on the screen. And make sure you go by and do that. And it's been a great week, Kane. Week 10 now complete. Only 2 races left. We have a race at Montreal next week, and then we move on to close it out at one of my favorite places in all of racing, Phillip Island. I cannot wait. Going to be a great place to finish the season off. Thanks again to everybody that was here. I know thanks Sean Kelly, Madison Down, Jim Davey, Curtis, Chipaway, Graham. Thanks a lot for coming by. Then we had a lot of other guys in here earlier, Bo Cubis, Chad Chastain, Jake Burton, Marlon McMullen. If I'm forgetting anybody that was in here, I do apologize. It was just a great post-race show. A lot of great topics tonight. Normally we get a lot more serious on things, but tonight was just good, informative night on things to come and a lot of things on some real-world racing. So you guys have a wonderful night. We thank you guys so much for coming by for the Get Dirty MX post-race show. I'm JD Smith. With me tonight was Kane Kraft, and we'll be back next week when we come to you live from Montreal. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
Contact free. Close. Let's have it.
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship. Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line